is a question that's prevailing in many students' mind, that is, how do you study theoretical subjects? Or maybe how do you even score well in theoretical subjects? Because again, this becomes very important, especially like in certain subjects like practical ones, you will be getting 50 or 60. That's quite fine, you can get. But generally in law and audit is where students miss, and they tend to score less than 39 or maybe less than 40. So in that case, what do? So because of the one subject entire thing less than 40, which again disrupts your entire group. So what do you do in this case? The most important thing that you will have to do is that you have to ensure that there's conceptual clarity. Now, some of them, they might rely on self-study. Some of them, they may prefer classes. So now it's up to you. Some may convince you saying that self-study would be more than enough theory. But you don't have to rely on others' opinions, but rather you evaluate yourself whether self-study, whether you'd be okay with self-study or you would prefer classes. Personally, for me, in all the levels, I preferred classes for all the subjects, including theory subjects. So it's up to you whether to decide to go with self-study or classes. In my case, I went with classes. But again, in classes, you can opt to go either with regular classes if you need in-depth explanation of all the each and every chapter, para, and everything, all the concepts. But if you want to complete that quickly, and if you think an overview would be sufficient, then fast track, or even sometimes if the exam is nearby and you cannot really afford to spend at least a minimum of 80 or 70 or maybe 90 hours in a class, even in fast track one, you can also prefer revision videos. As long as you get the conceptual clarity, that should be sufficient. And for subjects like audit, you will have to do multiple revisions, cumulative revisions. You'll have to do cumulative revisions. That is, for example, what do I say in this? So the thing that has helped me, see, when I gave my November 23 exams in audit, I scored only good 933. From that, I scored 49 and cleared the group because my aggregate was good enough, and then I scored in the other two papers. In FR and AFM, it was above 60. So I cleared that group in May 24. Now what has helped me to go from 33 to 49? So in your case, whatever that may be, maybe you might have scored low, or this might be the first time you're giving the exam. The only thing that you can do is you can give multiple revisions. You can give cumulative revisions. So what do I mean by that? So even if you have not scored above 40 in your earlier attempts, you can still score more than 60 in your upcoming attempts. So what can you do for that? So every day, each and every day, you spend 2 hours. You studying other subjects, it's completely fine, but you spend at least 2 hours in studying audit, or maybe 2 or 3 hours, so maybe 3.5 hours every single day. And in that, you cumulatively revise. Like for example, today if you are revising essay 200, and tomorrow if you are doing essay 210 and essay 300, you revise this for around 5 to 10 minutes, and then you complete this, or maybe at least 2 to 3 days once. You will have to revise things cumulatively. So that's something that you will have to ensure. And you can watch classes, you can watch any number of revision videos and all of that. And it's only for your conceptual clarity, but nothing can replace self-study. This is not equal to self-study. Some believe that watching the video 2-3 times will help you in retaining the concepts. That's definitely not right. So this will never be equal to self-study. You will have to do self-study for sure. And not just that, after self-study, you need to ensure that you revise at least 2 or 3 times before exam. And after that, you will have to ensure that there's sufficient writing practice, because what we do is, for theoretical subjects, we do not pay much attention to writing practice. Mostly what we do is we focus on just reading through the concepts, but you also need writing practice. Why do you need writing practice, right? So take for example in law, the legal language that ICAI uses, you need to have some understanding, or you need to know how to present as per that as well. Like take for example, if it's a case-based question, then in that case you will have to give your answer as provisions, analysis and conclusion. If it's a direct question, you can directly jump to the answer, or the other questions. Basically you need to know how to present. And for it also, you will have to write to the point answer. You don't have to really write to too many pages, but to the point answer, and focus on keywords. The last thing that you can do to ensure that with your theoretical papers is that You can you can practice MCQs, write mock tests. Now some might say that you will have to give individual mock test or maybe full test. It's up to you. If you want full test, you can go full test. If you have sufficient time, you can go with individual test or unit test. Wherein in a unit test you give tests of around like 1 to 2 or 3 chapters at once as a particular unit test, and then for the next unit test you give tests for 2-3 chapters, and it goes on. So in short, what you have to do is, first thing is that conceptual clarity is something that you need to ensure for all the theoretical subjects, either through self-study or classes. Next thing that you will have to do is you need to revise. That's very, very important. And self-study, right? Self-study is very important. It cannot be replaced by watching videos or maybe classes, etc. Self-study and revision at least 2 to 3 times before exam is very important. Writing practice is very crucial. Along with self-study, you need to do writing practice as well. And at last, you have to practice MCQs, case studies, case scenarios. So this will give you an idea. It's not that you will get the exact question over there, whatever that you have practiced, but even if it's a new question, you will know how to approach. No, you will not be wasting time on just reading through the question only, or maybe reading through the paras only. Rather, you will be knowing how to approach the questions. That's really important. Because generally within a particular period of time, you need to complete all the questions in an accurate manner as far as possible, right? So practicing these questions are really, really important, and then you have to practice writing mock test. This is again very crucial. So if you do all of this, for sure you can target excellence in subjects like law, audit, essence, whatever may be the theory subjects. You can plan and score and achieve 60% by ensuring all these matters. So keep this in mind whenever you read, whenever you start preparing for your theoretical subjects, or whenever you start even watching your classes, right? So, and one more thing is that whenever you watch classes, you study side by side every single day. You revise, spend some time, right? So if at all a class, you watch a class today, you watch a lecture today, take at least 20 to 30 minutes to revise the same, so that it gets retained, right?